This is one of my favorite topics, how to structure a yoga therapy session. And I want to be clear that there's not one right way to do it. However, I'd love to share a model that could work for you. And what I'm sharing here is reflective of how you would structure the initial yoga therapy session. Follow-up sessions would look a little different. And in addition, what I'm sharing here assumes that the client has already filled out the intake form ahead of time, either over the web or via email. So what happens when you sit down with a client for that first session, which is ideally 90 minutes or longer? Well, first, it's important for the yoga therapist and the client to take a few minutes together to get grounded and centered. And this might be similar to what the yoga teacher does at the beginning of a yoga class, cueing to body awareness and breath awareness and inviting the client to come into the present moment. And you may also wish to guide the client with a mudra that helps them get grounded and settled and potentially speaks to the goals that they have for yoga therapy as indicated on the intake. As a side note, it's also encouraged that the yoga therapist has his or her own ritual or solo routine to prepare for every client session. And this could be simple as taking a few breaths, or reciting a mantra, or saying a prayer. Now, once the centering or grounding has taken place, the next step would be to review the client intake, going over any uncertain information or clarifying certain questions, asking questions, seeking more information about the intake from the client. Part of the client intake review is identifying and clarifying goals for yoga therapy, so this gets discussed here as well. And then next comes the assessment, which should take into consideration not just the physical body, but all of the layers of being. And finally, the yoga therapist and client co-create the appropriate treatment plan that the client can practice in between sessions. The next appointment is scheduled, and both client and therapist agree to communicating in a way that's mutually agreeable in between sessions. In summary, there are various ways in which to structure a yoga therapy session, but this model could be useful to you as a yoga therapist if you're looking for a better way to manage your time in session and to make sure all ground is covered. I hope you enjoyed today's video. Thanks for listening.